If you thought seeing Woody in the dungeon was wild, buckle up SML fans, because things are about to get a whole lot weirder. The most recent SML movie confirmed our worst fears. The Forgotten Character Dungeon is no joke. Some of our favorite characters might be trapped down there, and I have a theory on who those might just be, and if they're coming back into the SML spotlight. For those who aren't aware, in the latest episode, Brooklyn Guy Gets Fired, Logan dropped a bombshell that's got the whole SML community buzzing. It all started with Jeffy's usual antics, landing Marvin with broken fingers and a desperate need for medical attention. But the real drama unfolded when Brooklyn Guy got caught in a whirlwind of complaints and accusations from a very young but vocal SML fan. The SML crew, citing fan feedback and poor video performance, decided to give Brooklyn the boot. He lost every job he held in the SML universe, leaving him jobless and desperate, effectively firing him from the show. Even a nice dinner with Karen at Outback Steakhouse turned sour when a fan recognized him only as
Look, it's Jeffy Cop!
What'd you just call me?
You're the cop from Jeffy!
I have a name.
Boiny, be nice. Take a picture with the kid.
You want a picture?
No thanks!
But what the does he like me or not? Who just screams at somebody and then doesn't get a picture with him?
Eat your food, boy.
which highlights his lack of individual identity and popularity, with SML fans. Unable to pay the bill, Brooklyn Guy resorted to dining and dashing, only to be stopped by Simmons and the Chief. But instead of jail, they sent him to a place we never knew existed, the Forgotten Character Dungeon, aka what is behind the secret door. This dark and dusty prison houses characters who've been written out of the SML storyline, like Woody and the surprisingly chill, dank smoking tour guide Goofy. What's up, Goofy? Brooklyn Guy, refusing to accept his fate, confronted the SML crew, demanding answers. He discovered the YouTube complaint that sealed his doom stemmed from a very minor incident in the previous episode involving Baloney and Jeffy. Yes, I'm being serious. The episode then ends, and it leaves us with the chilling question: who else is down there? And what secrets lie behind that mysterious locked door? Well, that's what we're here to theorize about today. Who is in the dungeon? First on our list of potential dungeon dwellers is none other than Toad. Do you even remember him? The whiny, mushroom-headed kid who drove everyone crazy in the videos. Toad's annoying antics were once a staple of SML, but his popularity waned as Jeffy and Bowser Jr. took center stage. And he's been relegated to the occasional cameo, but we haven't seen him in forever, leaving fans wondering where he disappeared to. Could the Forgotten Character Dungeon be his final resting place? It's certainly a possibility. After all, his constant whining and disregard for rules would likely land him in hot water with the SML crew in the lore world. But Toad's absence raises another question. He's down there. Who else might be suffering alongside him? Speaking of suffering, let's talk about Big Red and the Angry Birds. These feathered fiends were once a force to be reckoned with, constantly clashing with Black Yoshi, Shrek, and Woody. Their rivalry started in the Black Yoshi and the Bird series, but like Toad, they faded into obscurity. Big Red had a brief background cameo in 2018, but that was the last time we ever saw of him, leaving us fans to speculate about where they are. After all, these guys are the reason Mario is so broke. You'd think they'd show up more since they caused such an important event in Mario's life. So what finally landed them in the dungeon? Honestly, they just probably weren't popular. But if Big Red and his flock are locked away, it begs the question, what about another classic character like Tony the Tiger? From red feathered friends to frosted flakes, our next suspect is a true SML veteran, Tony the Tiger. This stupid mascot was once Mario's right-hand man, bringing his signature silliness and enthusiasm to countless early episodes. But as the SML universe expanded, Tony found himself overshadowed by newer, flashier characters. He had a cameo in Cody's 10th birthday and a few flashback appearances, but we haven't seen much of him in recent years. Could Tony's fading relevance have led him to the dungeon? Perhaps the SML crew felt his brand of humor had grown stale. Or maybe, like so many forgotten characters, he simply became a victim of the ever-evolving SML landscape. But Tony's potential imprisonment raises a chilling possibility. If even a beloved Day 1 OG like Tony can be cast aside, who is truly safe? Speaking of OGs, Tony's fate leads us to a character whose absence is shrouded in even more mystery than Tony himself, Mr. Pig. This character was a beloved member of Mario's inner circle, known for just being a silly, goofy guy, but tragedy struck the SML universe when Mr. Pig's death was confirmed and Jeffy breaks his helmet. His last major role was in the Black Yoshi and the Bird series, so that's leaving us fans to wonder, how exactly did he die? Personally, I think Shrek ate him, but that's a theory. Mr. Pig's potential fate brings us to another character whose death shocked the SML community, Mama Luigi. This lovable idiot was once a core member of the cast, known for literally being so stupid the first main series was named after him. But Mama Luigi's life came to a tragic end when he became one of the first major characters to be permanently killed off. A brief, heartfelt tribute in the Toad's Mistake remake marked his final appearance, but this episode was non-canon, it was just a remake. But furthermore, the end of Mario and Luigi's stupid and dumb adventures caused an infinite time loop, so despite him dying, that means he could still be alive, since none of that was canon. So does that mean he's still locked in the dungeon, forever searching for his beloved nickel? The thought of that is kind of heartbreaking for old school SML fans, but we gotta move on. Mama Luigi's tragic fate leads us to a character whose departure was less about death and more about a dramatic fall from grace. Peach. Once Mario's loving wife, Peach's patience wore thin. She ended their marriage in a bitter divorce over his baldness. Yes, I'm being serious. Guys, don't go bald. Just don't. She's transitioned from being a main character to an evil ex. She made her final appearance in Mario's Valentine's Day problem. Then Logan confirmed her permanent removal from the series, leaving us fans to speculate about her whereabouts. Will Peach now be in the dungeon, plotting revenge against Mario and the crew who cast her aside? Or is she simply another victim of the ever-popular Jeffy? Now for a character who is popular, but was forced to go into the dungeon because of YouTube. Doofy the Dragon. He had a rough life, with a bad childhood, a messy marriage, and a habit of encouraging dangerous stuff to young, impressionable audiences. His show was full of violence and bad influences that often got Logan in trouble with YouTube guidelines, which is probably why Logan tried to retire him in 2018. Doofy briefly came back, but Logan eventually got rid of him for good. So, is Doofy locked up in the dungeon because he's too dangerous to be around? Is he too dangerous to be on camera because YouTube would delete the channel? In lore terms, it makes you really wonder if the dungeon is where the SML crew sends characters who are too messed up for their regular videos. Cough cough, looking at you does bad things, guy. Doofy potentially being in the dungeon makes you wonder if the dungeon holds characters who simply don't fit into the SML mold anymore. Take Emily for example. She was the smart, mature girl in Junior's first grade class, the one who actually had some common sense. And you remember how Junior was obsessed with her? But as the series went on, Emily seemed to fade into the background, becoming less involved in all of the episodes. Maybe the SML crew felt her level-headedness clashed with the increasingly crazy nature of the show. Or maybe, like so many others, she simply got overshadowed by Jeffy. So could Emily still be in the dungeon? It's a thought that makes you wonder if the dungeon is maybe also a place for characters who are deemed too normal for the SML world. After all, normal characters don't make for funny videos. Take Toadette for example. She was once Toad's girlfriend, but their relationship crashed and burned when she cheated on him with Bowser Jr. The heartbreak was real, and Toad was left devastated. Sure, they've appeared as friends in some episodes, but the sting of betrayal likely lingers. Will Toadette be in the dungeon? We haven't seen her in forever, so it makes sense if she is there. But Toadette's disappearance pales in comparison to the mystery surrounding Pixie Goblin. This crazy imp was introduced as Bowser's adopted son and Junior's new brother, promising a whole new family dynamic to the Bowser family. He even appeared in the Bowser Jr. Summer School series, but his reign was short-lived. Pixie vanished after Logan moved out of his parents' house, leaving us fans baffled. The most likely explanation is the cease and desist letter from Nintendo, given that he is Toon Link from the Legend of Zelda series. Could Pixie be trapped in the dungeon, a victim of copyright infringement? Probably not, because we didn't see him for a long time before the cease and desist anyways. And this is despite tons of fans begging Logan to bring him back, despite him being such a minor character overall. Not gonna lie, when I was a kid, I was a huge Legend of Zelda fan, and I lost my shit when Logan put Link in a video, so I was definitely part of those loud fans. Where do you think he is today? There you have it, SML fans. The Forgotten Character Dungeon is a treasure trove of speculation, packed with characters whose disappearances have left us scratching our heads for years. But this latest SML movie has opened up a whole new can of worms and also given us some answers. It's not just about who's in the dungeon, but what it represents. Is it a symbol of the SML crew's power to control the narrative? Or is it a graveyard for characters deemed too controversial or irrelevant? Or is it something even deeper, something that hints at the true meaning behind the SML universe itself? Well, that's a theory for the next video, but trust me, that one is absolutely crazy. So if you don't want to miss it, you gotta like and subscribe and turn on post notifications. And don't forget to check out my playlist of my best SML theories on screen now.